welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. Recently I made a video profiling a experimental pickup system that I put in my cigar box guitar after making a challenge to a couple cigar box guitar Facebook groups to incorporate a spring type system to make a noise maker, basically, to put it in your guitar. And I did some experiments and stuff, and I'll link that video below so you can you might want to watch it before you watch this one. But off camera I did make more modifications to what I had come up with the rod system. That was the rods were attached to the top of the magnetic pickup, and I'll put a picture in so you can see it. But I added two more pickups to what I had initially put in there. I was experimenting just to see what else I could do. Add maybe a little bit different sound, more tones, with different size bars, which you can see here. But I finally reached a point where I thought, well, this is very unique. It does work, but the output, because of not being a vibrating string and just this little metal rod across the pickup pole connected to the vibrating top, just not enough output. I wasn't real happy. It was unique sounding, but I decided to just pull it all out and try a different approach with some piezos, or piezos, however you say that. I'm not sure. The good jury's still out. But let me get you in here and show you what I've come up with now. As you can see, everything is quite different now. I tried to come up with some ideas for some unique sounds. I don't want this to sound just like any cigar box guitar with a piezo pickup inside of it. I'm still after some unique sounds. And my wife had some of these little metal containers. Have a little real thin metal, little screw on the lid. So I decided maybe an echo chamber type situation might create a unique sound. So I come up with this idea to put a piezo on the top, a piezo, and it's super glued down with super glue gel, and the can is just super glued to the back of the cigar box guitar top. I tried one where I put a spring inside it like that, and where it stuck up just enough to put pressure on it. And I tried that just to see what it would sound like, and I didn't like it as good. It sounded, the can sounds better empty, and it's not vented, so it has very little chance of getting into a feedback loop. And same with strings and springs and everything else. I was concerned about frequencies and having an overtone that would be a problem, but so far in testing it, I didn't have any of that. It actually sounded more clear than I expected. Slight metallic tone, just a taste of resophonic flavor. And then I did something completely different on the other side. I've got an aluminum plate here with 4 holes, one in each corner, and I put the piezo super glued to it's just a piece of aluminum. It's free floating. It's not attached, but I put a spring. Let me get this where you can see. Turn it where I can see it. The spring is between the top and the aluminum plate, and I bent it to where it has a slight radius in it so that the spring can push against it and it won't crown. Keep pressure on it. It's not much pressure, just a little bit. But now I've got a spring in mine, so I'm not failing the challenge anymore. But I've got it wired up now, and I'm not putting it to where a switch where I can blend it or anything. I'm keeping the signal completely separate. I may make changes later because I've already made a lot of changes, taking all this stuff out. But nothing was permanent. I didn't drill any new holes except for a new external jack. This has given me more of it's almost like a combination plate reverb and spring reverb combined. But when I was testing the sound of it, it doesn't really sound that metallic on this one. But you do get a little bit of a springy sound. I want to get it together, and then we'll see what it sounds like. Well, I got it buttoned up and did some experiments, and I had to take the back off again. I had a little bit of an overtone coming from the aluminum plate, and I put a little piece of foam, adhesive back foam on a nodal point to kind of cancel that out. Got rid of that. So it's not bad now. I like it pretty good. This is the clean sound, if you want to call it that, from the echo chamber and that plate. It's got a little bit of an overdrive sound to it, even though it's, no effects. That's completely clean, straight through the amp. I've experimented with some effects because the whole idea of this was to be able to run this behind the output from the Glitterbomb through another jack to another amp. That was my plan. If I unplug that, this is the Glitterbomb signal, just straight Glitterbomb. It's clean sound with just a little bit of reverb and a tiny bit of delay added. It's not enough to even get much of a snapback. But turn the volume down on the Glitterbomb. I experimented with a phaser and some other effects, but a flanger seemed to sound to me the best. Just the flanger sound for an effect to put behind something else. But then if I put some reverb on it with a little bit of ambient, stretch it out to make it a little bit more ambient. If I add a little delay, that echo can seems to come out more when you add that. But now, if I dial in the Glitterbomb for the other amp, keeps going a little bit afterwards. I was messing around trying to come up with something to play. Well, I think you might agree with me. It's gonna be a lot of fun to mess around with, just for something, a lot of novelty to it, but it's usable, which is something I was kind of after to start with. Being able to combine the two signals, or not really combine them, but split them to two different amps, is interesting. And I was doing a little research and found out online that you can make a splitter to take just the normal signal from a single pickup and split it and go to 2 amps at the same time and run one signal through one effect and the other through a different effect, and almost accomplish, well, not quite the same thing, because this is that's it's just a very unique sound. Even with a clean sound, if you take all the effects off, that if you blend those two together, there's just a lot of unique things you could do with just to mess around. But I think I'll have fun with it. Just this is kind of cool, and the output with the piezos set up this way is a good bit more than with those little pickups I made. Those little pickups are not bad if you stick them on. I stuck them on my test mule, and they had really good volume with a high E string. But there you got a string that's vibrating in an arc over the pickup versus a little piece of metal that is attached to the top, and the vibrating top is what's making the movement. It's just not enough movement to generate a lot of current. But I learned that this was even possible, which is, it's almost like amplifying sympathetic strings. If you've ever seen some of the violins, like the Hardanger fiddles, that had the sympathetic strings running under the fingerboard, and they were tuned so they would just ring out sympathetically. If you could put a pickup on those sympathetic strings and amplify that, it's almost in the same ballpark of trying to pull that off that way. But I still have the pickups. I can still do something with them. I could do a 3-string and put 3 separate pickups on them and stagger them across it in a lots of things that you can do. Endless. Everybody's brain works a little differently, and we all go at something from a different direction. And I like to watch what other people do, and I like to do my own thing. And hopefully some of you guys out there will like watching that. So if you like that kind of stuff, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.